Good morning. Glad to see you arrive just in time. I'll give you a second to get yourself set up on your bike. Hello, hello. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Music just went into spinning circle mode, and I'm getting page unresponsive. Trying to open up a new music player now. I shut down the YouTube music, and I'm trying to open up my Tidal player, which is hard to do when I've got the streaming going because so many resources are being used. So everything takes a while. Let's see if this works. This. There we go. I think that's working. YouTube Music has issues, as you know. It just quits playing. All right. So we're into warm-up mode. I'm just checking to see if you texted me. No. We're just in warm-up mode now. Let's get some light resistance. Sit up nice and tall. We'll just turn the legs at a moderate pedal speed here. Shake out the arms. Let the shoulders come down from around the ears. Take a couple nice deep breaths from the belly, and let's just use this time now to kind of focus on the body, focus on the sensations, maybe feel your knees moving, maybe feel the weight of the saddle in your hips, maybe feel the ball of your foot, the different pressures on it as you go around the circle. Returning to the handlebars now. Let's add in just a little bit of resistance, just a little bit, and bring our leg speed up into the 80s or 90s now. 80 to 90. Just the slightest bit of work in the muscles now. Just a tiny bit. And as we're allowing the joints just to warm up, we can check in with our hands and our elbows and our shoulders. And if you feel like it, you can close your eyes. Sometimes that helps in maintaining the focus. Helps me to tune into the body sensations a little bit more. So let's just notice now if our breathing is picking up at all. We can start to feel that change in the feelings of the muscles. The sensation of the muscles, how they feel doing the work, should change as they warm up. We should feel a little more supple with the pedal stroke. As the legs warm up. Let's ease in a little bit more resistance, just a tiny, tiny bit. Holding the same pedal speed, 80 to 90. See if you can identify where in the leg you feel that extra work. Or alternatively, you can think about where in the pedal stroke do you feel that extra work. Just to take a little pressure off my shoulders for a second. Shaking on my arms a little bit, but I haven't changed the resistance or the pedal speed. I can absolutely feel some warmth coming in now. Let's bring in another tiny fraction of resistance. Again, tune in to where we feel that in the muscle. I'm focusing right now on feeling that scraping of the mud through the bottom of the pedal stroke, and as we've talked about before, that part right before the bottom of the pedal stroke where it transitions. I think of that as the bottom of the J. The bottom of the J. As you transition from pressing down to pulling through. I'm not good at working with mirror image cameras. But that's a critical part of the pedal stroke as we finish the strongest part of the pedal stroke, which is the quadricep drive. Then we transition to that scraping and then unweighting with the hip flexors on the upstroke. Breathing absolutely picking up now. Let's speed our legs up. Let's come to mid-90 to 100. Practice keeping your hips steady, your upper body calm. Maybe hold your champagne glass. Keep your elbows slightly bent. That helps keep the hips calm on the saddle. Alright, slow your legs down, remove some resistance. Now align your legs to the rhythm of this song. So slower than before with less resistance, a little bit of active recovery right now. Practicing tuning into the rhythm, aligning the legs with it. Remind yourself how much brain processing power is involved in the hearing of the rhythm, and then the outputting of the muscles and the sensing of the legs to see if they're on the rhythm, see if that aligns with what we're hearing through the ears. There's a lot going on in this seemingly simple act of aligning our legs to the rhythm. All right, let's reach down, add resistance so it feels like a mild hill. And of course, we feel the engagement of the muscles as we add that resistance in. Feel where you feel that. Notice where you feel that in your legs. Let's make it a slightly steeper hill now, and I want you to feel your hips pushing over the top, kind of like a squat in the gym. You'll feel it through the heel of your foot. Let's focus on that sensation for 15-20 pedal strokes. Make this a very steep hill for just about 20 pedal strokes. Very steep, struggling to keep the rhythm. Struggling. Bring it down to mild hill again. Hold the rhythm. Not in active recovery now. Still in the work zone. Just a low-level work zone. Check your legs. Make sure they're on the rhythm. Do the same thing again, or maybe even add just a tiny bit more resistance. Very steep seated climb, 15 to 20 pedal strokes. And by the way, a pedal stroke is one full circle, not each foot. In 3, 2, 1. Come back to where you were, maybe a little bit heavier. 3, 2, 1. Transition to standing by adding more resistance. Just a few seconds here. Back down to mild climbing. And back down to light resistance. Grab some water for a second. Those standing parts always get me. They're very challenging. My out of breathness now is because of that standing part. Allow your legs to find this rhythm. Perhaps you can pay attention to the changing sensations of the muscles on this light resistance as compared to how they felt under that heavy resistance. Love this act of hearing the rhythm, lining the legs to it, the awareness, the attention it takes to make sure that we stay on the rhythm, all the feedback that's happening. Alright, let's go to moderate hill. Heavier than the mild hill we did before, but not as heavy as that seated climbing where we could barely keep the rhythm. So get something greater than this, less than this, sort of in this range. Relax the belly. Slightly adjust your rhythm to match the song. Let's see how relaxed our shoulders are right now. How about your neck and spine? Are they relatively aligned? If I look at the camera, that makes my neck and spine relatively aligned. But I look down quite a bit too, but I try to remind myself, keep a nice alert posture so I'm looking out 10, 15 feet or so. So we're climbing right now. Notice my hands are at the middle of the handlebars. I'm actively sensing that drive of the glutes and the lower back. Over the top. Settled into this climb. Moderate, but it's a climb. It's causing our breath to pick up. Probably getting sweaty. Let's see if we can close our eyes. Only if it's comfortable for you. Otherwise, just focus on the next 10 or 15 feet ahead of you, I want you to imagine that the line of the road, the yellow line of the road, is right here. You're just a few inches inside of it on the road, and you see it out ahead of you, and that's your focal point. You're just staying a couple inches to the left of the line, and it steers you, yeah? Don't need to see all the way up. These are my favorite kind of climbs. Moderate intensity, enough to get you worried a little bit, enough to get you thinking, enough to make it so you have to pay attention. You have to urge yourself with every pedal stroke. We're going to stand now. I'll count us into it. Make sure to bring your resistance very high. And then think about bringing your weight off the saddle just forward a little bit onto the pedals. That's where we're bringing the weight, out here. We don't want the weight out on the hands. We just want to balance with the hands. Bring that weight onto the pedals. Feel your weight shift from glute to glute as you step into the pedal stroke. Still climbing in 3, 2, and 1. Feel that transfer back, side to side, through the hips and glutes. Now back to seated climbing. Adjust your resistance. I know the muscles are tired now, especially after that standing. This is one of my favorite things, is to just stay with us. I want you to stay seated. I'm going to show you something. I don't know if I can demonstrate this very well, but in indoor cycling spin classes, I very often see instructors teaching people to hold the body super still when they stand, and then they drive the legs, like completely separate from the upper body, almost like pistons, instead of shifting their body weight into really heavy resistance. So it might look something like this. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, it looks like this. You see what I'm doing? Instead, that's hard on the knees. My knees hurt from just doing that. Instead, we want to add resistance and then drive the weight through the glutes, which looks like this. Come on and join me and do this. It looks like this. You notice the difference? See those hips? And now let's bring our resistance back down. Still climbing. On a scale of 1 to 10, my breathing is 7 or so now. If you find you're just absolutely struggling to turn the pedals, adjust your resistance. You have control of that. Okay, one last standing, and then we'll come back to flat road for a little active recovery. And 3, and 2, and 1. Crank it up, step into it. Feel those hips and glutes. All right, back down to flat. Pay attention to your heart rate and what it's doing. I was noticing mine and my breathing. Both were very high. So my legs right now are feeling a little recovered from that. So I'm going to come back to my handlebars, add in just a little bit of resistance, and come back into the 80 to 90 RPM range to get back into exercise on a flat road. If you're still really, really out of breath, or your legs hurt a lot, just use less resistance and come to 85 or 90 RPM. Always listen to your body. Bringing your attention to your hands. Notice how they're gripping the handlebar right now. You may not have been aware of how they were holding on to the handlebar, so now do. Pay attention. Check to see if your weight is mostly in the heel of the hand. See, I can lift my fingers like that. And now let's bring our awareness up the arms and to the elbows. Seeing if we can release any tension in the elbows, the shoulders. Feeling with my eyes closed how my neck is aligned with the rest of my spine. I'm just feeling for it. I'm not looking in the video. I don't have any mirrors. Finally, I'm trying to be aware of keeping my belly relaxed. Whatever resistance you have right now, leave. Slow your legs way down. a meditative flat road at high exertion level. High perceived exertion, low time to exhaustion. We're going to be at about 90 RPM, so we're going to visualize being on a flat road with 90 RPM, and we're going to have a gear that we find hard to turn at 90 RPM. Therefore, the bike's going very fast. And I want you to adjust the resistance. So at 90 RPM, it's a resistance you couldn't hold for 2 minutes. Could not hold 2 minutes. And we'll check in once we get the resistance in to see if that's how we're thinking and feeling. And adjust if necessary. Okay, first things first. We've got some resistance on. Let's come back to 90 RPM. Let's check our posture, how we're interfacing with the bike at those 3 points of contact. Use those to ground yourself. When I give this signal, add resistance that you don't think you could hold for 2 minutes, and 2, and 1, add that in. Now at this rhythm, how does 2 minutes sound to you right now? Right there. I'm taking a deep breath now. I'm doing my best to focus on my posture and my interface with the bicycle. Breathe deeply. Now bring your resistance really low and slow your legs. Where's your breathing on a 1 to 10 scale? As you can tell, mine is quite high.